Well, I enjoyed the music. It pepped me up for sure. I'm all jigged out from what I did last week, but
did a lot of digging.
Well, in the classroom I did. Yeah, it was quite a week. So, oh me. I hope this plays. So, welcome on this St. Patrick's Day. I see a lot of green. I see a lot of faces that I just love gathering around here. And there is someone special. If any of y'all recognized a truck with a dog, that belongs to Jim, there's Beverly. It's so wonderful that you've come today. We're really glad
when
you're here.
I saw the truck, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, we all know. I mean, it's wonderful. There's Roger everywhere. We're just gathering. It's really fun. Oh man. Well, I got to tell you, this week I had the most, it's a kind of a cloudy day, but I got to drive up Highway 65 to Eureka Springs this week. You guys, that is the most spectacular drive in Arkansas, I do believe. The hill country, the way, the rolling hills, the green, it's in Buffalo River country, and the red beds were outstanding. I mean, they were as thick as, this is a picture from the highway, but you get this vista, and then you get all these beautiful flowers, and they were everywhere. It was really wonderful. I totally recommend that drive. You go up to Conway, take off at the Greenbrier exit, and just go. And plus, in my little Prius, the windy roads, I love driving like that, that's really, it's all fun. It's all good. So it was spectacular. I'll talk a little more about it. But I got us all revved up with the music, but let's remember we light the Christ light within us. And I think we live in one of the most beautiful states in the United States. And when you're immersed in that nature that I just showed you, you remember the one presence and one power. So, everyone's gathering on this wonderful day. Come on in, that's the song, isn't it? So let's say our statement of being together. Together, there is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. Yes. And our daily word today is prayer, and it's I claim the presence and power of God, or my divine identity, as I pray. So, can I get someone to read this? Maybe, would you read this for me today? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here is a microphone. So the daily word is prayer.
In the Revealing Word, Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore described prayer as the most highly accelerated mind action known. This awareness is my comfort and assurance as I release my worldly concerns and feel the presence of God. Unity Arthur James Dillett Freeman wrote, "Prayer is reaching, and every act of prayer stretches the soul. I reach inward into my divine identity, which improves the quality of my life. As I pray, I immerse myself in the silence so I can be still and know. From this place of deep communion, I relax and focus my attention on the divine ideas of life, love, wisdom, strength, and order, which are always mine to claim. As these spiritual truths flourish in my consciousness, thoughts of my troubles and worries fade from my mind. I open to divine ideas and creativity. I open divine ideas and creative ways to use them. I radiate love and peace from the core of my beingness.
Yes. Yes.
My life is prayer in action."
Yes.
Pardon me.
I read I think you live that. I really do. And many of us live that here, so.
She reminded me of Roseanne Cash.
Oh, really?
Giving her ideas about her father, and I could feel that.
Okay. Okay.
Roseanne Cash.
All
Reading
right.
that prayer.
All right. Thanks, Ken. All right. Well, it is prayer. And I should have had that up. That's part of what Brittany read. And this was Russ's slide last week, and I really liked it because it captures the essence of what's in the 5 movements of prayer and unity. We say, we claim what God is, and then we claim it for ourselves. So that's a prayer right there, you all. Well, of course, it's from the prayer of protection too. But the bookends to the prayer are I open, and then after you've claimed the powers, I know and I can, and I appreciate. So let us take a moment to pray for prayer this morning. I may even ask y'all for a little input as we go along. Here we're in this transition from winter to spring, and there's many things going on at Unity, and today's talk is in between the no longer and the not yet. That's where we kind of are. So I have this prayer for the in-between. As I come to a time of prayer, I open my heart and my mind to receive divine guidance. But I also think about what I might be holding on to, and I open my palms to receive. I open them with palms up, letting go of tension and worries, and just receiving, feeling the energy of love and life coming to me. I acknowledge my longings for harmony and support and understanding for myself, for my community, and for this world. God is life, love, wisdom, strength, and order. I claim these powers in my inner space to see these qualities as a living energy. So if anyone's willing, and just in popcorn, what do you claim this morning? What do you claim? I claim life. If you feel so moved to say, I'd say I claim the powers around the room.
I claim peace.
Peace.
I claim light.
I claim light. Clarity. That's good. Joy. Gratitude.
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm and zeal. Yeah. From that Irish jig. So how do we use these powers? We can. I use life to energize myself in this time of preparing myself and my community for whatever is next. I use love to harmonize my thoughts, words, and actions so that I can see rightly and also hear rightly. I use wisdom to practice and use any of my tools. What we're learning in Self-Care Club, Nonviolent Communication, Oneness, Blessing, whatever your tools, I claim the wisdom to practice and use them. I claim strength to persevere and hold steady in these times of transition. I use order to strike a balance between form and freedom. I am open and flexible to what comes, but I also respect that I must be mindful of the process we follow. Oh, how I appreciate each and every one of you in my Unity community. I appreciate the board's work, all the people Jim for showing up with his dog, Travis for always being in the kitchen and helping me with hospitality, and Angel. I could just go on, and Beverly has been contributing with the building and making things neat, and we're all doing something. We're all doing something, and I appreciate every one of you. And I'm so grateful for all of our Unity teachings. With prayer and practice, we will arrive at a beautiful no longer and not yet. And so it is. I've always loved that song by Jana. And so I thought of this for the topic this week, to honor the space between the no longer and the not yet. Now, let's see. So, back at the White Stone ceremony, I said 2024, an open door. I didn't know it was going to be a floodgate, for gosh sake. I remember Russ, even back in January, listed all these things that had already happened, and it just keeps going on and on and on. And, is it coming up? Okay. So,
It's an auditorium, that bridge, that
yeah, it's beautiful. It's in our, yes, I love this painting so much. And who knew I was going to get a lifetime teaching license and then go back into the classroom. And y'all, last week for 4 days I taught 5th graders, 6th graders, Algebra 1 students, and Geometry students every day. I was telling someone this morning that I was real proud of myself that first day. I said, wow, I did good. I'm good. I'm back. And then I realized, oh darn, I got to go do it again tomorrow. And I had to do it for 4 days. And I was...
Thank you for doing that, Jeannie. Thank you for being available for the children who need that extra support.
Well, it was...
It's a very valuable thing that you're doing.
Yeah, it is wonderful to be with them. Absolutely wonderful. And I love meeting all the teachers. The schools have changed. The security is way tighter than it used to be. The technology, they're all using a lot of technology. But it was just a great experience. You know, it's a floodgate of things that are happening, but it's a floodgate of abundance. The beauty of the drive up to Eureka Springs, the people I met, the children, when they are just hysterical, y'all, what they think of the world. It's so much fun to talk to them. And I'm even getting a little financial thing, but that the main thing is what I'm doing. But oh my goodness. So, but coming back to this topic, between the no longer and the not yet, I love that, because there's a space there, right? And are we going to connect? It's really a hard place to be, this betweenness. It kind of is. There's no instruction manual or a step-by-step process, and it sure isn't. It's you know, you've got to have trust and faith. Like, they trust they're going to connect those hands. But there is also anxiety, confusion, and maybe scary feelings. And when things happen quickly, we sometimes forget, we falter and we forget, like the song said, to take stock of our feelings and needs, and to allow that to be expressed. And I gotta tell you, last Sunday, a lot of feelings were expressed, and at the annual meeting. And it just made me think, okay, we've got to allow that in our community. And, you know, we may have left a gap there, you know, and now we need to connect our hands and hold on. That's what I really want to happen in our community. Let's look at the lyrics. Janice Stanfield is so wonderful. She was living in Dallas. I don't know if she is still there right now, but...
She went back home for her dad recently passed.
Oh!
She's living in Indonesia.
Indonesia now. Oh, okay.
Bali.
Well, she has been singing all over the world, and we were lucky to have her in Dallas for a little while. But moving out of the safety zone into the great unknown, will I find my way, find my place? I love this line, will the life I seek know my face when I get there? I'm not caught between, I'm not trapped We're not trapped in between. Something's going to happen. And we don't have to run away. We're not running, but we're standing. And we're standing and connecting back to the picture, holding each other. So I love that. We falter and we forget. The answers, though, we can't see. They're there. They're there. The future is there for us, for our community. I'm sorry. Goodness prevails. That's just my motto. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord, I forgot the book. Yes, I did. Well, I will tell you about it. I forgot the 2 books I was supposed to bring. John O'Donohue, is Irish. He's an Irish priest. Sadly, he's no longer with us, but he wrote Bless the Space Between Us. And he wrote about thresholds, and he talked about winter going into spring. And I'm kind of miffed at myself for not bringing the book, because his words, even when he writes prose, it's poetic. But he talks about how even in the midst of winter, spring is at the heart. And it's going to unfold, and it's going to come forth. And and with nature, it's going to happen. And we're seeing it all around us. And isn't it something, like you've been looking at your daffodils or your jonquils or whatever you're going to be calling them. Jim has said he's almost got like White Mountain right now because he's planted so many, transplanted so many bulbs and all. But do you recall how you started seeing a few signs of spring, and then all of a sudden, bam, all the color is there. And we're just about to go with azaleas and all that. So it's really going to happen. And then before you know it, oh my God, then we're going to be complaining about how hot it is in summer. But there's that threshold. We're on that threshold of the in-between. And I know that winter is sort of a time of hibernation, a time of introspection. And then now we're out. And we're going towards the summer months where there will be plenty and abundance in the fields and all. So I will try to get you all this passage because it was really, really, really beautiful. And so what we have to understand when we're making a transition is, what do I need to put down? What am I leaving? And then, but what am I keeping? What am I keeping? And my really biggest hope, I've heard Russ say this, we of Unity are a community. We're not the building, but we love it. We love it. And we're going to have grief, some of us leaving this familiar space, but we're still a community. And we've got to look to the community. And I call it, I was reading Roxy Manning's book. Beloved community is a term she uses, but this didn't originate with her. Roxy Manning is a leading trainer in nonviolent communication, and she's written a lot of books about anti-racist conversations. And I don't want to emphasize the anti-racist part, but her knowledge of NVC and what she's added to it is just wonderful. Now, the beloved community, this is a term that Martin Luther King coined. And it was really from a 20th century philosopher, theologian, Josiah Royce. And he founded a Fellowship of Reconciliation. And it was Dr. Martin Luther King, who was also a member of that fellowship. He popularized the term and invested it with a deeper meaning, which has captured the imagination of people of goodwill all over the world. So King wanted to see a global community, but I want us to come back and bring it down to, we are a beloved community. We are a beloved community. We're like a mini beloved community, and what we accomplish radiates out. Roxy Manning says that her beloved community is like family, and that's really a lot how we feel here at Unity. I think of family as a metaphor, and now, you know, families can be messy too, okay? It's not always, but there's just a lot of care and kindness and all kinds of things that can go on within a family. But in my experience of family, no matter what happens, you're still connected, you're still together. And Roxy says, we are people connected by love for each other, whose well-being is intertwined. People who see the full range of each other's human expression, regardless of how we present. Angry, sad, happy, scared, anxious, in pain, playful, joyful, the whole gamut. We care for each and every member. Now, the thriving community needs a healthy feedback system with accountability. And this means, I'm going to say, I'm aware that my thriving is connected to your thriving and yours to mine. And if either of us is failing, we cannot thrive. So we got to acknowledge that there are times when I might do or say things that impact you. And that word impact, that's a big part of what Roxy brings to NBC. It is one thing to express our feelings and needs, but we have to understand that it's being received and there's an impact. And we should not argue with that impact. That impact, you know, is theirs, and they can reflect it back and reflect back what they heard. And so in real dialogue, we begin to understand in that sharing, you know, the value of what each other are feeling and needing at the time. And I want to know that impact so that I can take action to address it and return our community always to full strength. And so I think a lot of questions have been coming up since the annual meeting. Like, we are wondering, have you tried some such thing? Why aren't we doing this? What will happen, like, if we sell? What if? A lot of what if questions. And I just have a lot of feelings around this, and I want to be heard. I have an idea, and I want to be heard. Yes, all that's important. Now, Roxy developed this idea of authentic dialogue, and so she has a framework for it, a diagram. And look, it begins with consciousness. Oh, life is consciousness. Now that really fits with our unity teachings. So, I'm going to get feedback if I stand over there. So, so then there's the consciousness of we've got to be aware of what's going on inside of us, and then we've got to do the inner work sometimes while we're in the midst of these dialogues. And sometimes, you know, things come up so fast that we really don't have time to go through some of the initial stuff. And maybe we need to say, you know, I'm really feeling strongly about this, and I do want to come back and talk about it, but I've got to do a little bit of inner work first. And because, you know, the deal is, when we want to be heard, we feel a lot of pressure, a lot of physical pressure to be heard. And sometimes we get loud, or we just let it come out, you know. So we have to be, I mean, that's just a normal thing, guys, to feel that pressure to be heard. But the inner work requires clarity and sometimes a nonviolent communication process. And so I want to share with you something. Well, first of all, let's look at this statement. I love this. We want to be empathetic. And empathy is a respectful understanding of what others are experiencing. That's a quote from Marshall Rosenberg, and he wrote he developed the nonviolent communication process and had written several books. He has passed on now, but the movement still lives big time. And he also added, do not think that what you say is empathy. It's really where we connect our attention and our consciousness. So it's like the kids swinging on the train. It's the connection. It's not so much, the words are important, don't get me wrong, but it's that intent to connect and to understand another's experience. So, let's see what's my next slide. And Roxy called this authentic dialogue, but James and I, and actually Beverly and I, we taught a class where we used the book Crucial Conversations. And the deal is with Crucial Conversations, there's probably opposing opinions, or different, we don't have to say opposing, but, and then there could be strong emotions, and then there seems to be high stakes. That's where the hard conversations are. So one of the tools that I use with nonviolent communication is called Grok cards. And I love these cards. And I'm going to show you a video, and it actually kind of relates to some things that have been happening recently. But this was, look, there's a mask up there. This was from 2021. I went down to Dallas and taught this in a C class at Unity of Dallas. And so that's why the mask was there. We were just coming out of COVID. And James and I taught a hybrid class. And so he helped me make this video about the Grok cards. And I think it will really explain what's going on. We've been working on the NVC process. And I wanted to share something that happened in my life and how I applied the process, especially how I use these Grok cards, because one of the points is to explore your feelings and your needs. And developing that vocabulary is something that we really want to do. So let's take a look at this situation. In an NVC practice group, we had a hot button issue, and you don't really need to know the content, but the condition of it was getting to where we weren't feeling very safe because the temperature was up, the volume was up, and some people were shutting down and some people were talking more. And after it was over, I felt a little shaken, and I really wanted to understand what went on and why I didn't feel like I could talk as much as I wanted to. So I used the cards, and first I looked at my feelings, and I'm just going to give you an example of that. So, yeah, I was discouraged that night because we're a practice group. Yeah, I was overwhelmed. Not so much concerned. I was a little annoyed that I wasn't being listened to. Not so much upset. I was feeling uncomfortable. Yes, I was stressed. I was torn. I was torn between wanting to assert myself and wanting to keep the harmony. I wasn't really angry though. Now, I think you can get the point, but look, we've got a big deck here, and you wouldn't believe how fast you could go through this deck. So I've got some good feelings down here, and I may eventually show you guys the whole layout for feelings. But right now, I'd like to go to the needs. So let's put these feelings up here for a moment.
Did it feel cathartic to go through the feelings like that?
It really did feel cathartic. It made me understand and even look at, wow, I didn't realize I was feeling all this. And eventually that might even come up with something positive in that deck, like if I was interested. It's not always negative, but let's look at what the needs reveal. So let's do the same thing. It wasn't about fun and play. Connection. I needed connection with the people I was working with. And I was concerned about friendship. Trust. You need trust when you're talking about a hot button issue. Clarity. You need clarity when you're expressing your opinions. I wanted to be effective. Ooh, these are good ones. Not so much competence. Didn't really need the support. Let's see. Not freedom. You can see that you can go through these pretty fast. I might put hope over there. Nope. Dignity. Understanding. I needed understanding. Well, I think you can see we can go through this deck pretty fast too. And once you get your feelings laid out and your needs laid out, pick the top three. But look at the whole array of what was going on. And then ask yourself, what do I really want? What do I really want in this situation? And I gotta tell you, because I did this, I was able to go back to the group and we were really able to unpack what happened. We couldn't do it in that moment, but we were good friends and we wanted to come back and really talk about it. And we even came up with an agreement of how to handle a hot button discussion. So, thank you. Let's see. So what I've been toying with this idea, but I'm going to do this tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is Self-Care Club, but I'm going to be up here at 5 o'clock with Grok cards. And I don't care if anyone comes or not, but I will be here. And if you want to go through for anything that's going on in your life, I would love to just sit down with you, and I've got several sets. So, I can do it one-on-one with the person, or, I can handle it. So I will be up here between 5 and 6 because your thing starts.
I would love for you to do that in the Self-Care Club too.
Okay.
She just said that.
Oh, is that right?
Just said that.
Okay. Well, and we did have a regular NBC practice group here, and I'm going to talk, Travis was in it, and I want to talk with David Schoen too, and a lot's going on for me, but I want to see if we could bring that back. And the thing is, it's not just for what's going on at Unity. It could be anything in your life. And I have seen these cards and the NBC work. It literally shifts people, when they get an aha, and then they realize, really, what did I really want out of this? So, and I realize you can't stop in the moment something's happening and say, oh, let me get my cards out. You can't do that. Okay. Why not? Just have them in your back pocket all the time. But at any rate, but you do get in a habit of questioning yourself before you project out. So at any rate, well, I will give you more information later. Got to talk to the board about how we might do that, but for sure I'm going to be here tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. So, and as you can see, and this is true for everyone in this community, we always start from the heart, even if we get a little overheated or whatever. I know you guys, your beautiful, beautiful hearts, and the goal, remember, is to connect and be present, even during the crucial conversations and the heated moments and all. And I love this drawing. They didn't really use this word, but we reveal and we listen. We create a shared pool of understanding. And that's what I love because we are all connected. And actually, Jeff Brown, who's also an NBC trainer, he said he understands oneness, the idea of oneness, by thinking of the universal needs that we all have in our lives. And you all called them out: peace, gratitude, to be seen, to be heard, to connect. You heard me say some of them on the tape. We are connected that way because it's true for all of us. And if you're stopping your, what do I really want here? What do I want for others? And what do I want for the relationship between us? And when you stop and realize that, even if you have to just go back and reflect on this, you understand the connection. It is about seeing the Christ in one another, to me, all of this work. Now, do y'all know this story? The monkey that couldn't get that banana out. He got trapped. He got trapped in that bottle because he was holding on to that banana for dear life. And he was not going to get his hand out unless he, I guess, broke the jar. But, he had to let go. So letting go sometimes is an important part of the process. It's sort of like let go of being right and then allow and be curious and be interested. That's another important point. And in our little Lent book, Let Go and Let God, one of the things to let go of is let go of fear of change. And in that little write-up for that one, it says, the first step is to get in tune with the infinite, Eric Butterworth wrote. And he did a lesson on how to overcome fear and worry. We can take a gentle cleansing breath to get in touch with the indwelling presence of God. And as we do this, we do release the fear and we embrace change wholeheartedly. And I love that. The first step is to get in tune with the infinite. Because when I saw that, I went, whew. In other words, we all get focused on our own little world. We get a little myopic. But when we're in the infinite, there's the infinite within us, but there's infinite possibilities. And when we go, oh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, I could be open to that. So I thought that was a really good thing to let go of. Let go of fear of change. And Colleen Brown always says, nobody likes change but a wet baby. So she said that often, and you may have heard it before, but yeah, that's the way we are. Oh man, okay.